I'd been told about the strange occurrences in the old Hampshire house, perched ominously atop the hill overlooking our small town of Elmsworth. But it wasn't until I experienced the unspeakable terror that dwelled within those darkened halls that I became a believer in the supernatural. It all began on a cold November evening. The amber leaves had started to fall, and the air was crisp with an ominous energy that seemed to breathe life into the silent woods surrounding the Hampshire house. I, being an enthusiastic novice journalist, took it upon myself to uncover the truth behind the legends that veiled the ancient estate. Armed with a flashlight and a notepad, I ventured into the domain of darkness. My heart pulsated against my ribs, a silent testimony to the fear that coursed through my veins as the chilling wind kissed my face. The house, though deserted for decades, loomed large and ominous, its sinister silhouette illuminated by the pale light of the moon. As I stepped over the threshold, a chilling draft of air snaked its way around my body. The eerie silence was only punctured by the rhythmic tap of my shoes against the floor, echoing ominously through the darkened halls. I could feel the icy stare of unseen eyes watching, waiting. Legend had it that the Hampshire house was home to the ghost of Eleanor, a young woman who met a tragic end in the early 1800s. Whispers of her mournful wails have haunted the town of Elmsworth for generations. As I delved deeper into the recesses of the house, an icy shiver tingled down my spine. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind, echoed with the eerie reminder that I was not alone. The stench of decay infiltrated the air, a sinister testament to the death that had once danced within these walls. In the deepest core of the house, I stumbled upon Eleanor's room, a sanctified space frozen in the haunting echo of her tragic demise. An ancient, withered bed adorned the center of the room, the sheets stained with the silent testimony of her unspeakable end. A sudden gust of icy air extinguished my flashlight, engulfing me in an impenetrable darkness. Panic gripped my soul as the silent whispers of the dead infiltrated the air. In the suffocating blackness, I felt her presence, an icy, malevolent force that stirred the very depths of my soul. With every ounce of courage, I ignited my lighter, and the feeble flame flickered to life. In the haunting glow of the fire, the twisted, spectral form of Eleanor stood before me, her eyes, dark voids of unspeakable terror, her body, a spectral form veiled in the shadow of death. The air grew cold, and a sinister energy pulsed through the room. Eleanor's mournful wails permeated the suffocating darkness as she recounted the tale of her tragic end, a life snuffed out in the darkness of despair, condemned to wander the cursed halls of Hampshire House for eternity. As her soul-piercing eyes bore into mine, I felt an icy grip around my heart. Every sinew of my being was compelled to flee, but an unseen force held me captive, a prisoner in the haunting grip of the supernatural. In the ghostly illumination of the lighter's flame, I witnessed the horrific unraveling of Eleanor's tale, a narrative of betrayal, murder, and an unquenchable thirst for vengeance that had condemned her soul to an eternity of darkness. As the dawn's first light pierced the veil of night, Eleanor's spectral form dissipated into the ether, leaving me alone in the cold, suffocating silence of the Hampshire house. A chilling reminder of the unspeakable terror that lurks within the shadowed recesses of our world. A world where the living and the dead are bound by an unbreakable chain of unspeakable horror. Haunted by the chilling encounter, I fled from the Hampshire house, a tormented soul, forever marked by the unspeakable terror that dwelled within those cursed walls. The horrifying echo of Eleanor's mournful wails is forever etched into the depths of my soul, a chilling reminder of the nightmarish entity that lurks within the shadowed halls of that damned house. Years have passed, but the icy grip of terror still clings to my soul. Every night, in the suffocating silence of darkness, I am transported back to the cursed confines of Hampshire House, a prisoner to the haunting memory of the unspeakable horror that lurks within. I pen down this harrowing account as a solemn warning to those who dare tread the accursed path to the Hampshire House, a sinister abode where the living dance with the dead, and where terror lurks in the suffocating silence of the shadowed halls. I bear the eternal scars of that terrifying encounter, a haunted soul, forever marked by the chilling touch of the supernatural. In the terrifying recess of every shadow, in the mournful wail of every wind, the sinister echo of Eleanor's haunting presence forever lurks, a chilling testament to the unspeakable horror of the Hampshire house. I am forever changed. The innocent curiosity that once illuminated my soul has been snuffed out, replaced by the dark, haunting shadow of terror. I am a living testament to the unspeakable horror that dwells within the cursed confines of the Hampshire house, a sinister abode where the echoes of the dead forever dance with the living. The weight of the autumn mist weighed heavily in the cold air, chilling my bones despite the thick coat wrapped around me. The lonely trail through the forest that led to my childhood home was a path I had traversed 1,000 times. But tonight, it felt alien, foreboding. Each rustle of the leaves, each whisper of the wind seemed to carry an omen of something sinister lurking in the dark recesses of the woods. The house, a somber and ancient relic, stood like a silent sentinel, its windows staring blankly into the night. It had been 20 years since I had last crossed its threshold, 20 years since the tragedy that tore my family apart. My return was not born of nostalgia, but necessity. The death of my distant aunt meant that the house now belonged to me, and the task of clearing out the remnants of the past fell heavily upon my shoulders. My first night back was marked by a restless sleep, tortured by the ghosts of childhood memories and the distant echoes of laughter and screams. The next day, I set about the arduous task of sorting through the detritus of the past. It was in the late afternoon, as the sun began its descent, casting elongated shadows that danced menacingly through the rooms, that I came across the box. It was an unremarkable thing, dusty and aged. Yet, as I pulled back the flaps, a cold shudder ran down my spine. Inside lay the forgotten artifacts of my youth, trinkets, toys, and most unsettling, the drawings. Each piece of paper was a window to the past, a past marked by an otherworldly terror I had spent 2 decades trying to forget. I was not alone as a child. A shadow, a specter, a ghost. I had no name for it, only the icy terror that gripped my heart each night as it emerged from the darkness. My parents attributed the chilling tales to the overactive imagination of a terrified child. But the terror was as real to me as the breath that quivered from my lips. As I sat amidst the relics of the past, the memories surged, overwhelming my senses. Each night the specter would visit, its whispered threats and chilling touch a horrifying ritual that left me paralyzed with fear. Despite the passing years, the terror was as potent, as vivid as it had ever been. With trepidation, I roamed the silent corridors of the house that night. The specter of my childhood seemed to linger in the air, an unseen force watching, waiting. Sleep eluded me. The drawings, their sinister imagery echoing the haunting visage of my tormentor, seemed to pulsate with an eerie energy. In the dead of the night, as the moon cast its pale glow through the skeletal branches of the trees, I heard it. A whisper, a rustling, a soft, sinister voice echoing the nightmares of my past. I was not alone. Days turned into nights, and nights into days, in a horrifying blur. The specter, a malevolent force born of unspeakable tragedy and anguish, was relentless. It echoed the past, the untimely death of a young boy whose life was cut short by the sinister forces that lurked within these ancient walls. I sought refuge in the village, desperate for respite from the haunting. But the locals spoke in hushed tones of the cursed land, of the tragedy that befell my family, a tragedy inexplicably intertwined with the unspeakable horrors of the past. The village, with its centuries-old customs and superstitions, bore the scars of an ancient curse, and my family, the unwitting inheritors of its malevolence. Desperation and terror drove me to the brink. The specter, an omnipresent force, haunted my waking hours and tortured my nights. The boundaries between reality and nightmare dissolved. The drawings, the childhood relics seemed to hold the key, a terrifying puzzle waiting to be unraveled. In the grip of madness and terror, I sought answers in the forbidden corners of the house. The attic, long sealed, held the remnants of a horrifying legacy. Each artifact, each haunting image, a piece of the sinister jigsaw that echoed the curse of the generations. As the horrifying truth unraveled, I was consumed by the realization of the inescapable grip of the curse. The spectre, a tormented soul, sought release, its haunting whispers a plea for salvation from the horrifying limbo between life and death. The chilling nights, the haunting whispers, the sinister relics, each a horrifying chapter of a legacy of terror. As the autumn mist descended, chilling the air with its ominous presence, I stood amidst the echoes of the past, the present, and the horrifying inevitability of the future. The spectre, a chilling reminder of the inescapable grip of the curse, lurked in the silent corridors, a haunting epitaph to a terror born of unspeakable tragedy. The moon, a silent witness to the horrifying dance of the past and present, cast its pale, ominous glow through the skeletal branches. The spectre, the ghost, the curse, each a chilling verse in the horrifying symphony of the night. Amidst the relics of the past, the horrifying legacy of the curse, I stand, a silent sentinel to the terrifying dance of fate and terror. The house, a somber relic, echoes the unspeakable horror of a legacy born of tragedy, and the spectre, a haunting epitaph to a curse that knows no end. I write this not as a tale of fiction, but as a haunting testament to a legacy of terror that knows no bounds. As the autumn mist descends, and the chilling whispers of the spectre echo in the silent corridors of the night, I stand, a prisoner of a horrifying legacy that knows no escape. In the haunting dance of the past, present, and the terrifying inevitability of the future, the spectre, a ghost, a curse, lurks, a chilling testament to a horrifying legacy of terror that knows no end. In the silent corridors of the night, amidst the echoes of unspeakable horror, I stand, a silent witness to the terrifying symphony of fate and terror. The house, the spectre, the curse, each a haunting verse in a horrifying dance that knows no escape. I used to pride myself on being a rational man. My strict upbringing as the son of a scientist and mathematician had paved my path with logic and reasoning. The supernatural to me was a concoction of the overactive human imagination, a myth, a means to explain the unexplainable before science came along. But one cold autumn night changed everything I thought I knew, shook my belief system, and quite literally, brought me to my knees. I had inherited an old, sprawling mansion from my late grandmother. The place was nestled amidst the thick woods of Maine, secluded and untouched for years. My father, being the rationalist he was, never believed in Grandma's ghost stories that she'd spun around the fireplace. As a result, I too laughed them off. The day I moved in, the air was thick with the scent of decaying wood and damp soil. The first few nights were uneventful. I was engrossed in my plans to refurbish the place. But one night, as the clock chimed 12, an icy draft swept through the house. The electricity flickered and gave way to darkness. I fumbled for my flashlight, and that's when I heard it. A low, haunting hum echoing through the halls. The sound was not just heard, but felt, a chilling vibration that clawed its way up my spine. I followed the hum through the twisting corridors of the mansion. The air grew colder, and an invisible weight of dread settled upon my chest. I arrived at the source, the door to the old library, a room I had not ventured into since my arrival. The door creaked open to reveal a shadowed room littered with ancient texts. Amongst the tomes and scrolls, my flashlight revealed a figure, a boy, no older than 12, with pale skin and eyes that held galaxies within them. Those eyes bore into mine, and a torrent of images and emotions crashed into my consciousness. Pain, fear, sorrow, raw and unfiltered. The boy, Ethan, as I'd come to know, was not of our world. He had lived and died in that very mansion, victim to unspeakable horrors at the hands of his own family. His soul, marred with agony, was tethered to the mortal realm. Every night, as the clock struck 12, Ethan led me deeper into the dark recesses of the mansion and his life. The boundary between the living and the dead blurred as I was drawn into his torment. I found letters, diaries, artifacts that narrated a tale of macabre rituals and family secrets too horrifying to be believed. Yet, they were real as the marks that appeared on my body, mimicking the scars that adorned Ethan's fragile form. I was living through his pain, a spectator and participant in a ghostly reenactment of his torment. Sleep abandoned me. The nights were spent in a haunting dance between the past and the present. One night, as the horror reached its crescendo, I found myself in the dank, dark cellar of the house where Ethan's life had met its tragic end. Chains rattled, ethereal whispers filled the air, echoing the sinister incantations of those who had betrayed and sacrificed him. It was there, amidst the suffocating terror, that I realized my calling. I was not just a passive recipient of Ethan's story. I was his conduit to salvation, the key to his release from the eternal nightmare. The dawn broke as realization struck, and for the first time in weeks, light pierced through the foreboding darkness of the mansion. The following nights were a blur of rituals and exorcisms as I desperately sought to release Ethan's soul. As science and logic stood as silent spectators, I delved into the arcane, guided by instinct and the ephemeral connection with the boy. It was a night of tempestuous storm when the final confrontation with the sinister forces occurred. Thunder roared, lightning illuminated the sinister figures that emerged from the dark corners of the house. Every secret, every betrayal, every unspeakable act committed within those ancient walls came alive. I battled not just for Ethan, but for my soul, teetering on the edge of abyss. As the clock struck 3, a deafening silence fell. The storm ceased. The figures dissipated into the ether. Ethan stood before me, the scars faded, eyes radiating a celestial glow. The curse was lifted. He extended his hand, and as our fingers touched, a rush of warmth surged through my frozen veins. The morning light revealed a mansion transformed. The decay gave way to grandeur. An ethereal silence replaced the haunting hum. Ethan was gone, but his presence lingered, not as a haunting specter, but as a benign guardian. I sit now by the fireplace, the same one where Grandma spun her ghostly tales. The rational, logical foundations of my existence have been irrevocably shattered. In the silent nights, amidst the whistling woods and echoing halls, I've found a haunting, yet serene companionship. In the dance between light and shadow, life and death, a harrowing yet profound truth has been unveiled. Every creak of the wood, every whisper of the wind carries a tale of unspeakable horror and unutterable beauty. The mansion stands as a testament to the eternal dance of the living and the dead. I, a rational man, now dwell in the enigmatic silence, a silent witness to the unseen, unheard symphony of the souls, forever changed, forever haunted, forever awake. The evening air was damp and heavy, painting a misty veil that lingered ominously around the rusted gates of the abandoned Elmsworth Asylum. I had heard the horrifying tales, the strange occurrences that haunted the neighboring town of Ravensbrook. Yet, my insatiable curiosity led me to this moment of confrontation with the supernatural. It all started a week ago. A chilling tale of ghostly apparitions whispered by the townsfolk ignited a daring spark in my soul. They spoke of unexplainable events, shadows that lurked and danced along the decaying walls of the asylum, echoing cries of pain and terror. Some nights, the ghastly image of a woman in a white gown was said to drift lifelessly through the gates, her soul ensnared in an eternal torment. Tonight, armed with nothing but a flashlight and the rapid beating of my heart, I ventured into the enigmatic silence, stepping into the tale that was about to unfold. As the iron gates groaned open, the echo sent shivers crawling down my spine. The darkness within the asylum was almost sentient, consuming every sliver of light and hope. A labyrinth of haunting silence and suffocating despair awaited me, yet with every step, the legend of the Elmsworth Asylum unraveled. Rooms covered in dust and decay narrated the horrific experiments conducted decades ago. As the pioneer of paranormal research, Dr. Alistair Elmsworth was both respected and feared. His unorthodox methods left many souls broken and tormented. As I traversed the haunted halls, the truth was laid bare, each step echoing the tortured cries that once permeated these walls. One room, room 207, was particularly horrifying. It was here that the ominous presence of a woman, Lydia, marked the epitome of terror. The ghostly echo of her screams permeated the air, whispering the gruesome tale of betrayal and anguish. Lydia was Elmsworth's favorite subject, a tragic soul lost between life and death. Every artifact within that room was a testament to her eternal suffering. Lydia's spectral form was nowhere to be seen, but her spirit resonated within every cobwebbed corner. The damp, rotting walls held captive the unspeakable horrors inflicted upon her fragile soul. I could feel Lydia's presence, her icy breath brushing against my skin as chilling whispers echoed the sins of the past. Hour after haunting hour, I delved deeper into the terrifying enigma of Elmsworth Asylum. The apparitions of tortured souls writhed in eternal pain, painting an orchestration of horror and tragedy. Yet, amongst the anguish, Lydia's ghostly presence consumed the narrative, a sinister dance of life and death. In the haunting silence of the asylum, the sinister lullaby of terror recounted Lydia's fate, a tale of unrelenting horror, experiments of the macabre that bludgeoned her soul until her final breath. Elmsworth, consumed by demonic obsessions, orchestrated a symphony of terror that ultimately precipitated his tragic demise. As the first light of dawn infiltrated the harrowing darkness, I emerged from the asylum, a soul forever marked by the tragic sonata of horror and the wailing echo of the tormented. Ravensbrook was not just a town echoing with ghostly whispers. It was a haunting reverie where the dead danced freely, etching the unspeakable narrative of Elmsworth Asylum into every soul that dared to listen. As I penned down this terrifying experience, the haunting serenade of Lydia's screams linger ominously. She is not just a ghostly apparition, but a soul ensnared in an eternal dance of death. Every stroke of my pen echoes her haunting lullaby, a terrifying tale of betrayal, horror, and the unrelenting echo of the Elmsworth Asylum. A week has passed since that haunting night, yet Lydia's icy touch lingers, a ghostly dance that has ensnared my soul. Ravensbrook is not a town. It is a haunting sonata of the dead, echoing the terrifying whisper of Elmsworth Asylum. I am forever a prisoner to the haunting lullaby that echoes within these rusted gates, a soul marked, haunted, and forever changed. Every night, Lydia's ghostly serenade invades my slumber. I wake up to the chilling touch of her icy fingers, the haunting echo of her screams, and the terrifying dance of shadows along the decaying walls of Elmsworth Asylum. I am forever a prisoner to this terrifying tale, a soul ensnared in the unrelenting dance of death. As the echoes of the past continue to haunt my present, the chilling narrative of Lydia's eternal torment unfolds. The horrifying experiments, the demonic obsessions, and the tragic demise of Dr. Elmsworth are forever etched in the haunting symphony that emanates from the rusted gates of the asylum. I am forever a prisoner to this terrifying tale, a soul marked by the haunting echoes of Lydia's screams and the unrelenting dance of death that ensnares every soul that dares to listen. The town of Ravensbrook is a haunting reverie, where the dead dance freely, echoing the unspeakable narrative of Elmsworth Asylum into the depths of eternity. The shadows lurk ominously. The icy touch of the dead infiltrates every corner of my existence, and the haunting echo of Lydia's screams is a chilling testament to the unrelenting dance of death that permeates the air. I am forever a prisoner to this terrifying tale, a soul ensnared in the harrowing dance of the Elmsworth Asylum, a haunting lullaby of horror that echoes into the depths of eternity.